I'm Melissa Lay with Florida's Unique Education Learning Support. I'm the Executive Director, and I'm here with DJ Nicholson from Inclusiveology. We are so excited to chat with you guys today and talk a little bit about what we are doing. So Fuels is all about supporting educators, children, and the community. And we support them by offering unique supports for the learners. So it is only natural that we would partner with Inclusiveology to provide additional training and tools and support for educators and their unique learners in the classroom. So DJ is here with me today, and we're going to talk a little bit about the professional development workshops that we are partnering with Inclusiveology to provide to 150 teachers this summer. DJ, can you tell us a little bit about how you chose the topics for these workshops and what the value in them are?
Oh, absolutely. So I feel like we've had so many conversations about how to support kids that are neurodivergent, how to support unique learners, and then also how to give teachers tools to be able to support them and have that larger toolbox that they need to be able to support the needs of every child, because every child, whether they're autistic, have ADHD, dyslexia, a learning disability, whatever it is, they all have very specific needs that we really need to build into their learning so we can support them as little individual learners. So we don't have kind of a one size fits all when it comes to learning tools. So what we really want to do as this partnership is to not only give teachers what they need to be successful in the classroom, but teach them how to use some of these learning tools, give them exposure to some different ways of approaching kids that have learning differences so they can be successful and really meet the needs of all of the students in the classroom. And I know, like, you and I have had a lot of conversations about how kids are changing, how their learning style is changing, how as educators there needs to be a shift in how we approach their attention and their level of engagement, how they're accessing their learning. And so, I talk a lot about the 75% of learners. 75% of learners are going to be fine with how the traditional standards are being taught, how things are typically structured, but we've got 25% of kids that really need that little extra push. And I feel like that's really what we're doing, is we're meeting teachers there for those 25% of kids, or those kids that just need a little something extra, and we want to make sure that teachers have a nice full toolbox and know what to do.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. As the times are changing, the kids are changing, how they learn is changing, even for your traditional learners in the classroom. And I feel like the way that we teach and connect with them is changing. Mm-hmm. And being able to support your Gen Ed students and those neurodivergent learners is becoming more of I would say, a demand for educators, as there are so many different changes across especially the state of Florida, as legislation is changing and as all these things are changing, and the demands for teachers are I would ramping up, I would say. I feel like the mission for Fuels and Inclusiveology kind of marry very well together.
We
because
do.
We want to support the learners first and foremost, but you can't even begin to think about supporting children without supporting their teachers. And so this professional development is going to be not only this added tool for their toolbox, depending on whatever class they choose to take, or if they choose all five, right. But it's something that's going to, I feel like, help the learners have these tools as well, so that they can have ownership over their own learning and know what works for them in the classroom. So it goes beyond the kids that they're teaching next year, because those teachers can take those skills and the things they've learned for their future classes, and the same thing for the learners as they're learning, hey, this really works for me, I can now learn and go and advocate for myself to use these tools or need these supports.
I love that, and I think that is a critically important piece when we're thinking about the learners in 2024 and our learners and their styles moving forward. Is we want to make sure that we're building independence. And so many of the learning tools that we talk about really are designed to build independence. And so, you mentioned something about, gen ed teachers versus, special education teachers. When we look at education as a whole, it is the responsibility and job and gift for teachers to be able to support all kinds of kids. So I feel like even now when we talk about inclusion, we're talking about inclusion for all kids. So we're not just thinking of like the outlier kids that maybe could be included, maybe could not for whatever reason, but we're talking about inclusion in a way that meets the needs of everyone. So our very first workshop on Monday, July 8th is Inclusion 101. And I think it's important to know and to understand like really simply what it is and getting to the point where we don't look at inclusion as something that's this very complicated problem. And so the title of the workshop is simply Inclusion 101, the what, the why, and the how. Because it's one thing to know what inclusion is. It's really important to me that we understand why we want to do that to meet the needs of every kid and have every kid be successful. But also, how do you do that? How do you do that within your classroom? And so I feel like that first workshop is kind of what spearheads all the other workshops moving forward, because it sets the tone. It sets the tone for being able to meet the needs of every kid because you now have the tools.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So how would you say this professional development is different from professional development maybe that teachers have been to in the past or that are provided by the district? What would you say is so unique and special about our professional development?
Oh, there's so many things. Okay, so the first thing I think is really, really interactive, practical application. We have to have practical application for what we're learning. So it doesn't make sense to do that. I used to call them like the sit and get trainings, like have a practical application for what you're learning. Be able to ask questions that are relevant to your situation. I think the other benefit to these workshops too is that it's not just these 5 days of workshops. There's follow-up coaching as we move into the fall. So for September, October, and November, there are follow-up coaching sessions where you can hop on Zoom with me or Melissa and I. We haven't figured that out how we're going to do that yet, but there will be follow-up coaching. So you can hop on and talk to me, talk to us, and ask really specific questions and say, hey, I've got this kiddo. I've tried this, and this. What else can I try to make him to help him be more successful? So there's that, but then there's also this partnership that we have. Fuels provides so many resources and tools and things for teachers to use in the classroom. So all the things that you're learning in the workshops, you're getting to take so many of those tools with you. So it's, gone are the days of you learn a bunch of things in a training, but you don't have the resources in your classroom to use them. We're going to go ahead and give you a lot of those resources. So it's really awesome, and we're going to feel like Oprah.
Yes.
So it's going to be great.
Yes, I can't. That's
going to be so good.
That's exactly what it's going to feel like. Everyone gets this.
Yes, we're going to have our Oprah moments like every day.
And I really think a key thing that DJ said that's so important is that you mentioned that we're going to be there for follow-up.
Yes.
That we're going to be there because often you do get some training. You go back into the classroom, you start, and you're like, I'm trying to implement this, but it's not really going the way that I thought it did. Do I really understand how I should be doing this? Or this works on this kid, but it doesn't work on this kid. And so I think that it's so valuable to be able to come back and check in and say, oh my gosh, I could use your advice or your help with this particular situation.
Right. And sometimes I feel like even if we don't look at it as a coaching situation per se, just to have an opportunity to come back to us and just have a question answered, because sometimes it takes 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes to problem solve, to have a problem solving partner that's outside of your classroom give you some ideas and some thoughts that might work. And then the reality is, again, like we said, not everything works for every kid. So then you come back to us and you say, hey, I tried it, what else you got?
Yeah.
Because we will have other ideas and thoughts. Melissa and I were both educators, and we're knee deep in the work for years and years, and so that's one of the reasons why we're super passionate about bringing it back to you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So Inclusion 101 is one of the workshops. What's another workshop you're really excited to share and present to the teachers?
So to run down the next 4 days, so we're starting on Monday, July 8th with Inclusion 101. Tuesday's workshop is low-tech tools. It's assistive technology. It's low-tech or no-tech tools that make a huge difference for your classroom learner. Everything from graphic organizers to reading rulers to wiki sticks and all kinds of other things. Wednesdays is high-tech assistive technology, understanding how to use apps, understanding how to use all the features that are included in Google products, Microsoft Office products that are designed to build and increase the independence of your students. I think that's a huge, and we have a giveaway for that too, a really fabulous one. The fourth day on Thursday is schedules, routines, and visuals. How can we increase that independence for kids that seem to be confused, don't know, they don't have a good understanding of time management, they have trouble with attention? How can we use some of these strategies and routines and then these visual supports to really help them be more independent, help them be more engaged learners? And then the fifth and final day, which is Friday, is differentiation and small group instruction and specially designed instruction. So a hot topic out at schools these days is how do we design small group instruction that meets the needs of kids. So we're going to talk about different strategies, different ways to group kids, different ways to make it really fun and really engaging, and then talk a little bit about the importance of that specially designed instruction for kids that have IEPs, and what does it look like and what should it look like to be able to target specific skills so we can really move kids forward. So we have an amazing 5-day lineup of workshops. We're super excited. Melissa and I are going to make sure that we bring every single level of fun to these 5 days, so please join us if you haven't yet.
Yes, we're very excited, trying to keep it under wraps, all the giveaways that we have, but it is definitely, we've had so much fun planning these, and really at the heart of it, it is about supporting unique learners and their teachers. And we know that when we support the children and the teachers, we're really supporting a community. And we're very excited about this. So if you are interested in joining us, we do have 150 scholarships that we are offering so that 150 teachers can join us. 30 each day, so they will fill up fast. Don't think that means 150 each day. So if one of these workshops is speaking to your heart and you're like, oh, I really want to do that, you definitely want to sign up sooner than later, you can take all 5 of them. You can take as few or as many as you would like. You do not have to take all 5. We would love to have you for all 5. But let me tell you something that's super exciting about this. Not only will you get the professional development and the giveaways, and you'll have a great time because DJ and I are fun to hang out with, but you also can get continuing education credits for if you are a teacher in Pinellas, Hillsborough, or Pasco County. Inclusiveology is a registered vendor, so you will be able to get those credits to count for your continuing education.
Right, and just to piggyback on that too, every district is different when it comes to their professional development and workshops that are coming from an outside agency, because Melissa and I are both an outside agency. So make sure that you check with your professional development department on the process that they need, whatever form you need to fill out for that. And so we would love to kind of end this by telling you how to get registered, how to learn more information, because you got to get in on this and get in on it fast, because it's going to be really great. So we have a website where you can go and register and get all the information that you want. It's inclusiveology.com/fueling the next generation, and we will make sure that we drop that in the comment section after our live is over, so you know exactly where to go. So you can go there and you can scroll down to the bottom of the page, click register, and it's really easy. Just check the ones that you want. You put your name and your email address in there and click submit, and you're good. And you'll get emails and follow up from us, and you'll be part of the club of the really cool kids. So you all want to do that.
Thank you so much for having coffee with me this morning.
You're welcome.
And chatting and sharing about our partnership. I'm so excited
Me too.
to be there and to do this with you. It's a great partnership. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you have a fabulous Thursday.